with too.
Exactly. And now I'm more into this whole, the whole ghost thing and ghost hunting, which I love. It's adrenaline. It's to me, it's fun. Up until the serious stuff happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, well,
I have someone who keeps texting me. They want you to just physically describe the eyes. I know it's kind of difficult because what people don't understand is that we don't see it with our physical eyes.
Yeah.
That's how I describe it, is I see it with my third eye.
It's in the middle of our foreheads.
Yeah.
They were really big. They weren't round. They were just menacing looking.
Yeah.
But it was like looking into a black hole. Like, if you could physically manifest an actual black hole, which is, even light sucking, her eyes would be it.
So, it imagined like it was sucking all the light and everything out of the area.
Yeah, and for a really long time, I was kind of depressed because of it, because I wasn't getting sleep. It was affecting my work.
What do you think the chances are of that being the same thing that you guys think
Pissed off at Silver Lake?
that I saw my sister at? So whatever.
That's what I was wondering, is if it was connected, if that was the first time that we ever met, it was at Silver Reef. It was not the first time that we met a demon. That was not the first thing that we ever dealt with.
No.
I know that for a fact. Because the first thing that we dealt with was a male figure. It was like, it actually brought me to tears one night because
I remember that.
You popped up at in the middle, like at my window, and I freaked out. I freaked the freak out.
Yeah,
But while you guys in New Jersey, what happened? Like, did things start happening to Amanda before you guys started like seeing more of each other over there, or not? Like, no. Because I know that there was a certain amount of time while you guys were over that you weren't allowed to see each other.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Kind of.
So I'm wondering if there was did anything happen to her while you were not, like, during that period?
I don't know.
Not that I remember. The only time that it really ever, I wouldn't really say bother me, but when it was around was only when I was with her.
You're evil, sis.
No, I'm not.
It's your fault. Did it ever affect you? Did it ever affect you when you guys weren't together?
Me?
Yes. You.
Yeah, all the time. I would have nightmares, and when I moved in with Mel, sometimes she would be like, "What the hell is going on in your room?" I had a nightmare. I told her, I have nightmares.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh dear."
And then there was that one night.
We rented
The Conjuring. Like idiots.
I actually love that movie.
Oh, I love that movie too, but
I like it, but I will never watch it again.
Really?
Or I will never watch it again.
I don't remember a whole lot of that.
I have never been so terrified of a movie in my life.
Really?
It actually scared me, and movies like that don't scare me very easily. But that night, after what happened that night, I won't watch it over again.
Yeah.
This demon thing, just say it, she scared the heck out of Laura, and that night when I left, she was sitting in the back of my car.
She was?
No. The demon thing was sitting in my car.
I saw it in the back of her car, and I freaked
And she
out.
was terrified. She was crying, and we all know that Laura does not cry very often.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to make her cry.
I don't think I've ever seen her cry.
She had tears strolling down her face. She did not want me to
Except for
leave
that one night.
Yeah.
because she was terrified that something was going to happen. So as soon as I got home, I had to text her and let her know that I was okay.
Yeah.
And I think she manifested herself through me because you said that I looked at you and there was nothing but evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what happened because She wasn't herself. The way that she looked, the way that she was acting not crazy, but just not like Laura.
Yeah.
And it was, at one point when I looked at her, it was just pure evil, like it was that night at Grafton.
Mm-hmm.
Which will...
I hate to say it, she has a bad track record with that. For some strange reason, it's happened to her before at Silver Eve. The night that we took Mariah and Angie with us.
I should have watched her.
No. No, we're not talking about that right now. I just lost my train of thought.
You're at Silver Eve.
No.
Not me. I wasn't there.
Before that. No, I was thinking about something else.
Oh, I want to go back to Silver Eve.
Actually go to cemeteries.
Yeah.
How many times a week on average do you think it messed with you?
Every night. I would say every night.
Yeah. And is that like coming from both of you? It messed with you both every night, or?
No. I didn't start messing with her until she started calling it out.
Yep.
And did you start doing that in St. George, or did you do that back in New Jersey?
Here in St. George.
So, what drove you to wanting to call it out?
Because it was making Laura miserable. She wasn't sleeping at night. And her having nightmares would wake me up out of a dead sleep.
Yeah.
Because the bed would be vibrating.
Yeah. And I've had enough. Enough was enough, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one night it decided that it was going to disturb me while I was sleeping and scared the absolute heck out of me.
It was right after you had your surgery.
It was right after I had surgery. And I was sleeping, and I thought I was dreaming. But it was too real for it to be a dream. It was standing over top of me, and my hands were, with my palms face up. She was holding down my hands and keeping me from moving and keeping me from yelling anything.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't talk, I couldn't move. And then when I finally was able to get her to go away, I woke her up, and I was terrified. That was the day when we called you. I was oh my gosh, I was so scared.
So, here comes a question, and a lot of skeptics will believe that this is it. Do you think it was sleep paralysis?
No.
No.
She was moving in her sleep.
Because they say that if you wake up while you're still in the REMs, like, your brain doesn't click, your body doesn't click that your brain is awake.
No, because she
and
opened her eyes immediately,
and
she grabbed me, and she's like, wake up. And she was crying.
So then it would have to immediately rule out the sleep paralysis part. Are those the only times that it ever manifested itself to you guys?
No.
Like, is just what you guys said, are those the only times it manifested?
I think that's the only time that I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It tried to
I've
pull
only
me
seen
off
it
the
that
bed.
once. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I grabbed her ankle one night and tried pulling her off the bed.
Now, did you physically see this?
Yeah. I was looking right at her when it happened. I had to grab her to keep her from being pulled down off the bed.
Now, I'm not trying to say that you're full of crap. I'm only asking this question just because I'm curious as to what it is. How did it feel? Like, what did it feel like? I'm not trying to, like, disprove anything, but I want to know. Like, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just curious as to what it felt like. Like, could you feel it wrap its hands around your ankle?
Ice.
Or hand, because your ankles are really skinny. You have really small ankles.
I know, I have tiny ankles. Ice
now,
cold.
Was that the
but at
only
same time, like,
feeling,
burning.
sensation that you got?
No, I felt the pressure.
On your ankles?
Yeah.
Now, was it just one leg, or was it both of them?
It was one.
And you guys weren't asleep at
We were getting ready to go to sleep.
So you were basically the
We were like winding down.
The winding down part.
Yeah. And it had been bugging Connor. Like, we could hear noises around him. And he sleeps like a freaking rock. The only thing that he does in his sleep is fart.
So he farts in his sleep.
Yeah. Like,
see, that's proof to my wife that people do fart in their sleeps.
Yes, you do.
Excuse me. I was talking about you, madam. She tells me she doesn't do that during her sleep.
It's like you don't snore.
I don't snore, only when I'm sick or have a stuffy nose.
Wake up, you're snoring. What? No, that's not me, that's neighbors. The concrete walls.
I've never said that. Did Connor ever complain about anything like that to you guys? Or would it happen when he was asleep?
He's complained that he's been bothered.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
a long time ago, right after Laura first started to come over to the house, this was like before I got to know her.
Yeah.
He was saying that he was seeing
this
little girl with black eyes, and it was bothering him. And it was keeping him up, and I think it was saying something to him, but I don't remember.
I don't want you to ask my question.
Come play.
I know you're asking all the questions, so I get to ask her questions. Have you ever spoke about this in front of her?
That's my question. Do you think it was his? Do you think it was his?
No.
Imagination.
Do you think it was his imagination? Because I know that Mike is interested in it. I know that when I'm over there, Brian talks to me a lot about it.
Yeah.
So do you ever think that it was his imagination?
We
thought.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
We had, sorry, real quick. We had a similar thing with my nieces. They said that there was something under their bed that had like red glowing eyes. And we were like, what? And this was up when my mom lived up on the mesa, and it was a really creepy house. And so me and Aaron were like, what? And then we thought about it, and we'd watched Nightmare Before Christmas a lot up there.
Yep.
And it was like, underneath the bed is red glowing eyes. Like, so we're like, oh, okay, that's probably, we're just going to brush
So my question is did you guys do anything to try and disprove the fact that it might have been his imagination?
Yeah. That's what we're getting to. I did an EVP session.
Sorry.
Anyway, I did an EVP session.
Mm-hmm.
And
I still have yet to listen to that.
You wouldn't. You refused to listen to it.
I've been telling you lately that I wanted to listen to it.
Well, I gotta get it off my... I thought, why are we fighting? This is stupid.
Anyway.
And I called it out. Both me and Mike called it out. And I heard stuff like F you and in there in a little girl's voice. And I got scratched.
She had, what was it, four or five scratch marks going across from probably a little bit past her hairline all the way down to probably the middle of her throat.
Now, did you do anything like with Connor to disprove the fact that it might have been his imagination?
I asked him about it several times to see if his story would change.
Mm-hmm.
It really didn't.
So, with someone as young as him, do you think he would have changed his story up? Do you think he would have made it?
How old is Connor?
He's 10.
There you go.
When it happened, how old was he?
No, he was 8. He was 8 when it happened. Because it was right before his birthday.
Yeah.
So he was 8 years old. So, in your opinion, since you've dealt with children and you've taken, so many years of child development and stuff like that, would children change their stories to appease people?
Of course.
So.
Yeah.
It very well could have been his imagination.
Yes, kids have a very vivid imagination, and
Yeah.
you would think that we do, but children's imaginations are so much more intense than ours. Which is weird because they haven't seen half the stuff we've seen.
Oh, I know, right?
But they see it.
Yeah.
But no, that's how you can tell kids are lying, is they'll change the stories, but when it's your imagination, it's a lie. So they'll change the story. So.
Well, and also. Well, it's gone.
Well, okay, I have to take a quick break because I have to fix everything and get all situated again because, like I said, we can only do it in 30-minute increments. But if you remember by then, just let me know. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to get to, the juicy part of this story
Juicy!
when we come back. We'll be back in just a second.